aside from storytelling, the other thing I do is write, like fiction, short stories, stuff like that. And when you're a writer, one of the things you can do is go to these things called writing conferences. And the way it works is you take your story or your poem, and you're going to workshop with this famous writer who gives you feedback, and you get a one-on-one conference. And everybody goes to these things, and everybody says, well, I'm just going to hone my craft and be in this nurturing environment with other writers. But deep down with everybody, there's a little piece of you that says, maybe I'll be discovered. Maybe someone will recognize my genius, and I'll call their agent, and my career, my literary career will take off. So in 1987, I went to my first writing conference, and a few weeks before it started, I got the name of the famous writer I'd be working with. And his name was Leonard Michaels. And I hadn't heard of him, so I did a little research, and it was pretty cool. I mean, the guy had been nominated for 2 National Book Awards, and he was considered this sort of writer's writer, as this prose stylist. He taught at Berkeley. So I was really psyched. And when you go to these things, the goal is sort of to try to network and try to ingratiate yourself with these famous writers so that they'll help you. So I thought of all these really, what I thought were brilliant questions to ask him, like how do you reconcile the integrity of your prose with the integrity of your vision, or some bullshit like that. So I go there. It's in Port Townsend, Washington. Fort Worden, which is this used to be a World War I fort. Now it's this artist colony. Beautiful place. And the first night there's a meet and greet, and I see him standing there, and he's this guy in his 60s with wild gray hair and this faded jean jacket. And he doesn't look that happy. He's just sort of standing there, scowling, and people are going up to him and talking to him, and then the conversations don't last very long. And I'm thinking, well, should I go up to him now and introduce myself and sort of do my whole thing about the stylistic prose, reconcile, whatever, And finally, I think I'll just wait for the actual workshop, and maybe after class I'll go up and talk to him. So the next morning we have this workshop, and most of these workshops that you're in, the first day they go around the room and everybody introduces themselves and talks about their hopes and their dreams, and it's a very nurturing, safe space. Well, with this guy, there was none of that. He comes in, doesn't say good morning or anything, and he has this pile of all of our crappy stories that have been submitted. He plunks them down on the desk, and he picks up the first one, and he reads the first sentence, and he looks at us, and he shakes his head sadly, and he says, "This isn't writing." And then he reads another sentence, and he says, "If this is writing, it should be against the law." Thank God it wasn't mine, it was some other poor schmo story. So then he starts dissecting the first paragraph of the story, word by word, and it's like a lecture on particle physics, and everybody's furiously taking notes, and it's actually really interesting, because each word is doing something or not doing something, and just sort of this really granular take on it. And it's really interesting and really great, but really intimidating, so I decided I'm not going to go talk to this guy. I mean, forget it, So it's kind of a relief, because, the pressure's off. So the next day, I'm walking from where the bunks were back to the main office, and there's this big field, and there's this narrow path in the middle of the field to get from one to the other. So I'm on this narrow path, and I see advancing towards me Leonard Michaels. And first my thought is, well, should I turn around and walk away, or go off into the field or something? I thought, that would be too embarrassing. And then I thought, well, this is my chance. Fate has intervened, and now I'm going to get this FaceTime with this guy, and maybe we can sort of bond in the middle of this field. And my question about reconciling the integrity of his prose with whatever. So we're getting closer and closer, and I'm face to face with him finally, and I stop, and I'm sort of blocking his way, and I say, "Hi, I'm in your